I'm adding every character from Apex Legends into Dead by Daylight. Whether they're a survivor, they're a killer, or just a legendary skin. Because I'm too lazy and don't want to figure it out. Now this is going to be a multi-video project. And in this first part, we are covering the Assault class. Because that is the one with the most characters in it, and it's taking me the longest to do. So let's get started. With our first character, Bangalore. She was born into a family that all fought for the IMC. Her brother Jackson was with her in the IMC when they were attacked. They got separated, and so she is our first survivor. Now, she does come with 3 perks. Her first perk is double time. After unhooking a survivor or being unhooked, you gain a 6, 7, or 8% haste effect when out of chase, and a 3, 4, or 5% increase in speed for any actions until you are injured again. Now she also does come with Smoke Grenade. After unhooking another survivor, you can enter a locker and craft a Smoke Grenade. Smoke Grenades create a small field of smoke that causes blindness and hinders anyone within it. The smoke clears after 3, 4, or 5 seconds. And now her last perk is called Lone Soldier. If no other survivor is within 30, 25, or 20 meters of you, gain an 8, 9, or 10% increased speed in any action. But once a survivor gets within that area, the perk will deactivate for 80, 75, or 70 seconds. And now our first killer from Apex that we have is Revenant, also known as the Simulacrum. Now Revenant comes with his main weapon, the Reaper's Revenge. It's his heirloom. Now, basic plot of Revenant's lore, he used to be the greatest assassin for the Syndicate, and he used to kill hundreds of targets, but eventually he figured out that he was a simulacrum and vowed to get revenge on everyone who basically killed him. Now that's been hundreds of years, so what he has tried to do is he joined the Apex games to try and get revenge that way, but his assassinations have caused some problems. Looking at you, Loba. Now, Revenant does come with his power. There's actually 3 parts of it. There are his silencers. Revenant comes with 2 silencer shots that when they hit a survivor, it will cause hindered and incapacitated for 3 seconds and cause a silenced effect. Every 15 seconds, if a survivor is silenced, they will scream, revealing their aura, and they will suffer from exposed for 10 seconds. Revenant also comes with a death totem. A death totem spawns in the middle of the map that survivors can interact with to remove the silence effect. Every time a survivor removes silence, Revenant goes into shadow form for 30 seconds. If Revenant interacts with it, he also gains shadow form. Now while Revenant is in shadow form, he is undetectable, he moves 5% faster, and gains a 10% speed increase to any action. He can also teleport back to the death totem while in shadow form, but it removes it and blocks the totem from anyone for 20 seconds. Now shadow form can also be removed if you can blind Revenant with a flashlight. Stunning him doesn't do anything. Now Revenant, or the Simulacrum, comes with 3 special perks. The first one is Stalker. When the Obsession loses the health state by any means, all other survivors' auras are revealed for 3, 4, 5 seconds. And then we have Patient Revenge. 5 seconds after being stunned by any means, all survivors in your terror radius suffer from Oblivious and Blindness for 30 seconds. And the cooldown for Patient Revenge is 40 seconds. Last, we have Hex Silent Shadow. After hooking a survivor, you gain a stack. For every stack of Silent Shadow, gain Undetectable after a generator is completed or a survivor is rescued from a hook for 5, 10, or 15 seconds. And this perk does go away if its Hex is cleansed. Now we do have some add-ons for Revenant. Now I won't go through all of his add-ons, but I'll show up on screen some of them so you can pause the video right here if you want to read them. Here are his brown add-ons. Here are his yellow add-ons. Here are his green add-ons. And here are his purple add-ons. But let's not forget his iridescent ones. And now let's move on to our next character. Ash, better known as the Tactician, our second killer from Apex. Now Ash's backstory is that she used to be a great scientist on the city of Olympus, but she eventually betrayed the scientist she worked with. She died, became a simulacrum, much like Revenant, and became a mercenary essentially, until she died again and they rebuilt her, and then she came back and joined the games again. Tactician does come with her power, Test Your Limits. She has Arc Snares. Ash can hold 2 Arc Snares with a 15-second cooldown to recharge that she can throw out that go in a straight direction and attaches to a wall for up to 10 seconds and will grasp onto any survivor that gets close enough to it. If it catches a survivor, it will attach to them and hold them in place for 2 seconds or will release them when they lose a health state. She also has a data knife. When interacting with the generator, Ash can attach a data knife to it, and it will stay on for 20 seconds or until a survivor is down. If a survivor interacts with the generator with a data knife on it, it will attach to them until they try to leave the generator, where it will hold them for 3 seconds. And the last part of her ability is called Phase Breach. After every 100 seconds, Ash gains the ability to Phase Breach, which allows her to create a one-way portal instantly to any generator. And the portal she creates stays in place for 30 seconds and can be taken again by Ash if she interacts with it before it runs out. Now, Ash does come with 3 perks, and the first one is called Strategist. For the first 30 seconds that 2 or more survivors are working on a generator, they suffer a 16, 17, or 18% speed penalty. And Strategist can only occur up to 1, 2, or 3 times per generator. Her second perk is called Like a Rat. After damaging a generator, use the aura of the last survivor to repair it for 3, 4, 5 seconds. Like a Rat also has a cooldown of 30 seconds. Her last perk is called Once Human. For each survivor injured, gain 1% haste. If all 4 survivors are injured, gain an additional 1, 2, 3% haste. If no survivors injured, you go minus 1% slower. Now, the Tactician does come with her add-ons. These are her brown add-ons. These are her yellow add-ons. Her green add-ons. Her purple add-ons. And finally, her iridescent add-ons. Our second survivor to join from Apex is Fuse. Fuse grew up on Salvo, a war-torn planet with warlords and militias and, not the best place to grow up with. Eventually, though, he grew up and he fought in an arena and eventually joined the Apex games, where his best friend Maggie did not like that. So she became a terrorist and bombed the ceremony. One thing led to another, he ended up in the fog. Now, Fuse does come with his own 3 perks. His first one is called Salvonian. After blinding the killer, gain the endurance effect for 3, 4, or 5 seconds. Salvonian then goes on cooldown for 14, 13, to 12 seconds. His second perk is called Older Experience. At the beginning of the match, see the auras of all chests and generators for 8, 9, to 10 seconds. And it also reveals the aura of any chest you're opening to other survivors. Lastly, we have Ring of Fire. After cleansing 4, 3, or 2 totems, or completing 100% of a generator, standing still for 7, 6, or 5 seconds will cause the killer to have their aura revealed and suffer from blindness when within 20 meters of you, and it lasts for 6 seconds when they leave the area. Thirdly, we have Maggie, our third and final survivor for this video. Lore for Maggie is very similar to Fuse. She was his best friend, they grew up together, but instead of fighting in an arena, she wanted to become a warlord. And so she terrorized Fuse and eventually faked her death, but she got caught. And her sentencing? Fight in the Apex games until she dies. Doesn't sound that nice. Maggie does come with 3 unique perks though. She has Rebel Warlord. When you lose a health state by any means, all other survivors within 8, 9, or 10 meters of you gain a 5% haste effect and lasts for 3 seconds when they leave the area. This effect goes away when you are healed or if the survivors get away from you. Her second perk is called Never Catch Up. After stunning the killer with a pallet, you see their aura for 8, 9, or 10 seconds. And Mad Maggie's final perk is called Wrecking Trail. Your scratch marks last for 1, 1.5, or 2 seconds longer. Anytime the killer stands on your scratch marks, they suffer from blindness and move 1% slower. And our third and final killer for this video is Ballistic, better known as the Champion. He uses brass brawlers, little knuckles that are on his gloves, to beat survivors. And his backstory is that he used to be the champion of the Thunderdome, a blood sport that predated the Apex games, that he eventually left on his own after a close family member was killed, and he was driven into isolation for decades. Now, when his son joined the Apex games, he came out of isolation, made sure his son didn't endure the same fate as he did, and instead sacrificed himself so that he could be in the games. Now, he does have his power, Tactical Expertise. Ballistic brings out his pistol that will lock onto whatever survivor he's chasing or close to, and after 4 seconds applies the Locked On status effect. If he shoots, it will injure them. If a survivor that is locked on is already injured, and they are shot, they will enter the Deep Wound status. Now, the Smart Pistol cannot down a survivor after they are shot. Locked On. The Locked On status effect will add a meter around the targeted survivor's icon. If they vault up to 4 times or throw 2 pallets, it will burn the meter and they will become injured. A survivor can lose the locked on status by either stunning Ballistic with a pallet, which resets the meter, or by avoiding the line of sight for his pistol for too long. Tempest. Now after getting 3 successful attacks on locked on survivors, Ballistic gains Tempest for 70 seconds. Tempest increases Ballistic's movement speed by 10%, his braking speed by 20%, his missed attack cooldown by 20%, and his successful attack cooldown by 10%, as well as his vaulting speed is increased by 20%. Now Ballistic can lose Tempest if he's stunned by a pallet or blinded by a flashlight, but if this happens, the meter is reset and only needs 2 hits to activate again. And now Ballistic also comes with 3 perks. His first one is Scorch Hook Thunderdome. Up to 4 random hooks in the trial become Scorch Hooks. When a survivor is hooked onto one of these Scorch Hooks, they suffer from blindness and exhaustion until healed. Once they're healed, the survivor will scream, revealing their aura, and this also happens every 25, 20, or 15 seconds until they lose another health state. His second perk is called Isolation. If no survivor is within 30 meters of you, gain Undetectable and a 10% haste boost for 20 seconds or until a survivor gets within the area. Isolation also has a cooldown of 30 seconds. And now his last perk is Equipment Entrepreneur. You can see the auras of all chests when within 50, 55, or 60 meters of you. You can also see the auras of any survivor interacting with these chests. Any item picked up from them has a minus 10, 15, and 20% depletion rate when used. Now the champion also does come with his own add-ons. Here are his brown add-ons, his yellow add-ons, his green add-ons, his purple add-ons, and finally his iridescent add-ons. Now that was the first 6 characters from Apex put into Dead by Daylight. 3 survivors and 3 killers. If you have any thoughts on my characters, please let me know down in the comments below. Did I make some perks overpowered? Is one of the powers underpowered? Maybe some add-ons aren't as good as you'd want them to be. Please let me know. And if you liked this video, please click like and subscribe. It'd mean a lot to me and I'd very much appreciate it. Now tune in to about 2 weeks maybe? Maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. These videos take a while, but it won't be as long as this one. Now I gotta work on the other characters. Oh god.